In the know.
Good evening, everyone.
In the know.
Tony Reeves, fire. Following the news in any way, shape, or form. No shortage of things to talk about. What does it mean? What will it bring? Is this a reality we simply have to accept? Tony Reeves, fire. Tony Reeves. Let's go ahead and get started.
All right, let's talk about this for a second. Today we're going to talk about medications. I've done a video on medications before, but I wanted to do a little bit more detailed one tonight, or today, however you want to do it, to give you a little bit more insight that might assist you. Now, I'm going to probably float back and forth in terms of looking at something, so if you see me doing this, please do not take offense. I'm just trying to multitask at the same time. Now, just to kind of give you some thought process and how this actually works. Medications are an important part of your treatment regimen for you to be found, to kind of help improve your medical conditions. The key thing for a lot of people is, how does medications play a part when you're applying for disability benefits? Let's talk about that for a second. First of all, the first thing you want to keep in mind is, when you're taking medication, you want to ask the question, what functional limitations still remain even though you're taking the medication? Here's where it's really important. Listen to me when I'm saying this. When you're taking your medication and you're taking it the way your doctor prescribes, you want to be able to show in the records, and I know you're probably saying, well, how do I do that? Well, make sure you're letting your doctors know that if they're prescribing you medication, which in most instances are designed to improve your ability to function as well as improve the symptoms you're experiencing, you want to make it very clear to the doctor if, despite their best efforts, whatever medication they're prescribing you, whether or not those treatments are actually improving your conditions. So Social Security is going to want to know what limitations still remain even though you're taking your medications. Now, I've talked about this one before, and this is where it gets a little weird, is, do you have any side effects? Now, here's the thing that I get on people all the time, because sometimes people will say, well, medications will routinely cause this side effect or routinely cause that side effect. And my thing to them is always, it's not about what something will routinely do. You have got to make sure you demonstrate to Social Security that the medications create the side effects for you. So a lot of times it's difficult. Now, let me tell you, it's real hard if you're taking a lot of medications to know which ones cause which, especially if you're taking them all at the same time. So if you're taking 4 or 5 medications, sometimes it's difficult to say which specific one is giving you the problems. But it's important for you to remember that you got to make sure you let your doctors know and encourage your doctors to document when you're taking any medications and you're experiencing side effects from those medications, because those side effects might actually be causing you to have additional limitations. Like if it's causing you to be groggy, having difficulty focusing, causes you to be sleepy, causes you to go to the bathroom a lot. Those are things that Social Security wants to know about, and you want to be as specific as possible. Also, the frequency of your medication, whether you're taking the medication as needed or you're taking it on a prescribed basis. Are you taking it once a day, twice a day? All of these things are really important to your case. So you want to make sure that you are as detailed as possible about how many times you're taking and if you're experiencing any problems from taking the medication. All right, hang here about a few minutes. When we come back from our break, we're going to talk a little bit more about changes in your medication and how any evidence of medication talks about how it improves your function over time.
Under the Social Security regulations, representatives are permitted to practice before the administrative agency anywhere in the country, which means that when you're looking for a representative, you can find someone who doesn't necessarily have to be in your state if you're just going before the administrative agency. So it's possible to have an attorney or representative who's from Utah, even though you may be in Georgia. And our office is actually no different. So if you're wondering which states we cover, check this out. tricky part is once you have to sue the Social Security Administration. Under that situation, you want to have an attorney that's representing you in your jurisdiction. So if you have a representative who's in another state and you've gone all the way to the appeals council when you've been denied and you want to sue the Social Security Administration, you make sure you ask that representative whether or not they can sue someone in that particular state.
It's really important that you pay close attention to how your medication is changed over time. And this is something that sometimes people get lost in translation and so forth, and you want to pay close attention to this. When you're taking different medications, make sure you're talking to your doctors about whether or not the new medications they're prescribing you, if they change it, if they're increasing the dosage or are they reducing the dosage. Are they giving you something that's comparable that has less side effects, or are they giving you something that's stronger that has more side effects? Are they going up in the types of medications you receive? Are they going down? All of these things are coming into play. Remember, you want to do an aggressive job of painting an accurate picture of how the treatment and the medications you're receiving impacts your ability to do things on a day-to-day basis. And the medications that you take and how you take them play a huge part. Finally, you want to make sure that you talk about how your medications relate to what you do on a day-to-day basis. Now, you know, on the first part, we talked about functional limitations. Some of you might have gotten a little lost when I was saying that. Let me see if I can bring it home a little bit more. When I'm talking about functional limitations, stop and start to think about how does taking your medications impact your ability to do your day-to-day functions. Think about it. Like for some people, I'll have some people tell me when they take their medications in the morning, it wipes them out because the side effects is that it makes them so drowsy they end up taking a nap. They almost have to take a nap for like the first hour or so because it just basically knocks them out. Well, guess what? If you don't explain that to Social Security in such a way that they understand, they won't know that. So you want to make it very clear. You want to make it very clear to the Social Security Administration in what way your medications impact your ability to do your day-to-day function. Medications are a very important part of your case, and you want to make sure that it is as detailed as you possibly can. I know it's frustrating, and I know you're relying a lot on your doctors in terms of properly doing so, but you, as a person who's taking the medication, keep track of these things, and more importantly, make sure you continue to dialogue with your doctors with regards to paying attention to the medications you take, how often you take them, and the side effects and the impacts of those medications themselves.
I want to thank all of you for engaging in the videos. Make sure you take the opportunity to send me any comments or send me any particular questions that you want me to have addressed here. As you know, this show is for you, and so the only way I can make sure that I can provide you some good information is if you provide me some good questions. Keep them coming, and right here on Q&A, Social Security Disability Today.